Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today I have something very interesting for you guys. Not exactly a review, just kind of an unboxing, sort of. If you are familiar with my channel, you'll know that I have dabbled into some bootlegs from time to time. I'm not necessarily a big fan of them, but if they're unique enough, they can be interesting. And specifically, there is a company that I've kind of always wanted to own a bootleg from, but I've never been able to find one. That would be Kenner, of course, from the Jurassic Park toy line. There are bootlegs out of Kenner figures. I've seen for sure a bootleg of the Red Rex floating around the internet from time to time, but unfortunately, that's not something that I've ever been able to get a hold of. It's a very hard figure to find. However, I think I have just stumbled upon a Kenner bootleg that I have never seen before, and because of that and my want to find a bootleg of a Kenner Jurassic Park figure at some point, I purchased this lot. Now, I just opened this up. I haven't actually taken a look at it quite yet, but from the images I saw online, it certainly looked like a Kenner bootleg to me. What we have in here is a very small bag of dinosaurs. There's almost probably like 5 or 6 figures in here. They're all very small ones. The lot cost me like $14, and if it didn't include a Kenner bootleg, there's no way I would have ever purchased it because most of the figures are very lackluster figures, but we'll bring them in here piece by piece. So the first one I pulled out, we've got this goofy little Stegosaurus. Again, he doesn't even have thagomizers. Definitely an old school figure, nothing particularly special about that guy. We've also got ourselves another Stegosaurus. This one is a knockoff, I believe, of the Marx Stegosaurus, or something similar for sure. Definitely a not so great figure. There's also a Pteranodon in here, which, I'm not really sure exactly who this one would be a bootleg of. Maybe the Safari LTD Pteranodon, but it definitely does look like a bootleg as well. So we've got quite a bit of that going on in here. I don't know if I've ever actually seen this particular version of that figure. That's a weird one. But we do also have this guy. I don't know if this one is a bootleg or not, but this one is definitely a smaller version of a Triceratops that I had when I was a kid. I don't know if it's Imperial that makes it, or Dorme maybe. I don't really remember, but there is definitely a Triceratops that looks a lot like this, though the tail length is a bit longer on this one. And oddly enough, it has one horn. So it's kind of like, well, 2 technically if you count the nasal horn, but here where the Triceratops should have 2, it randomly has 1 in the center of the head, so it's almost like a unicorn version of a Triceratops. But that is, again, not the figure that I bought this lot for. This one is the figure that I bought this lot for. Now, when you look at it straight out of the gate, it may not look like much to you, but some aspects of this figure are way too similar to the Kenner Dimetrodon to ignore. Now, I don't think it's one of those inspiration situations. Like, I don't think this is a figure that was inspired by... I mean, it could be, because some areas are a little bit exaggerated. But if I actually grab one of my Kenner Dimetrodons, which I pulled out specifically for this, you can see, again, like, that definitely looks like a Kenner bootleg to me. And, just, I guess, messed around with it a little bit because, like, some of the proportions are a bit different, but it even has, like, the pot belly there in the stomach region. The legs are positioned the same way. The sail looks honestly identical pretty much, as far as, besides the fact that it's rubber and kind of like warped in a few areas on the bootleg, but very similar. The tail and the way that the skin texture, like that scoot-like look that we have on the tail, is also the same. The head shape is very, very similar. And even if we actually turn it around, one very defining feature of a Kenner Dimetrodon is the positioning of the left rear leg, because that's the button area basically to operate the jaw. And you can see that leg is kind of leaning backward. Same deal for this one. So I definitely believe that this would be a Kenner bootleg, and a very strange one at that. I've never seen this one before. I don't know who makes it. I can see that it is made in China, but it doesn't look like there's any other kind of stamp or brand name or anything on it. So again, maybe not the greatest unboxing video in the world, but it's just something that's so interesting to me, so unique to see anybody actually bootleg an old Kenner figure, because it's just something that is kind of a rarity. So when I saw this, I I was like so intrigued by it that I had to grab it and add it to my collection because it's so unique and so different. So in the comments section, let me know what you guys think of this, and also let me know if you happen to have any Kenner bootlegs in your collection, because again, it's not something I've seen too many of, and I'm always intrigued to hear about any other that might exist. So like I said, in the comments section, let me know what you guys think, and of course like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.